Because if you're going to insult me with your chest. Don't backhanded insult me, sir. He was very, very upfront about the fact that he was a 50-50 guy. How do you plan to go 50-50 with the mother of your child during pregnancy? How do you plan to do your 50% of... Hey beautiful people, I'm Mimi of Justing Me and welcome back to my channel. So I've got a dating story time for you guys. To be honest, most of my dating content is now on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me at justing_me. But this one's a little bit too long for Instagram, so I thought I'd give the good people what they want. So this was quite a few months ago. I was talking to this guy. I was really in my let's give the men that I'm not particularly attracted to a chance era. And I was talking to this guy. To be honest, it wasn't like he was bad looking, but there were certain things that made him not particularly my type. And we've been talking for about 2 weeks, and we've been like trying to schedule a date, and we'd got a date in mind, but he was like, and we had a location as well. Actually, we didn't have like a venue, but we had like a town and a specific date. And he was then last minute trying to, I think it was the day before, he was trying to change the location because it wasn't that convenient for him. We live about 2 hours away from each other, but he was saying initially the date was meant to be somewhere that was going to be about, I don't know, maybe an hour away from him and 30 to 40 minutes away from me. But the day before, he was now trying to change it to somewhere that was closer to him but further from me. And this is why you have to be absolutely detached when it comes to dating, especially at the start. Because if I was like, oh my god, I really like you, I really want to meet you, I would have caved and been like, okay fine, let's change the location. But I was like, no, I absolutely stood my ground, and I just said to him, look, that's not convenient for me. If you can't do the agreed, you know, location right now, let's reschedule for, you know, another week or two. And he quickly changed his tune and went back to the agreed, you know, venue. So I get to, oh actually before I get to the date, so the day of the date, the next day, he asked for a video call, and I'm like, yeah sure. So it's probably just before I'm about to leave for the date, we do a video call. And his first reaction is like, wow, because obviously I was already dolled up and like looking good. So his first reaction is like, wow, you know. And then we had a chat, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was fully expecting after the chat for him to send me a message being like, you looked really nice, it was really nice to talk to you. But radio silence, absolutely nothing, which surprised me because like he couldn't help himself kind of initial reaction. Anyway, so I get to the venue and he's already there, but I didn't realize he was already there because he hadn't texted me to be like, hi, I'm here. I'm, you know, normally you text a person like, I'm here in the corner or I'm by the door. I had nothing from him. So I was kind of like standing at the bar for a while, and then I went to the toilet. And then I just went to the bar to ask them where the toilet was because I just wanted to top up. But he must have seen me, and then he was like, I'm in the beer garden. So when I came out of the toilet, I went to the beer garden, and he was sat there like the princess that he was with a drink in his hand. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize you already had a drink. I'll go to the bar and get a drink. Now, if he had been a gentleman, first of all, he would have offered, when he went to go buy his drink, he would have offered to get me one. He would have messaged and be like, hi, can I get you? And I've had so many men do that. That is the bare minimum. It's not princess treatment, it's the bare minimum. Someone's asked you for your time, you know, if they're at the bar, they get there first. They'll usually ask you, can I get you a drink? Now me personally, I'll probably say no, because if I've never met you before, I'm not letting you buy me a drink when I'm not present, because what if you put something in it? But it's just the thought that counts. Like, I would have expected him to at least ask. But no, he sat there as a princess as he was, and he watched me go to the bar to get a drink. Even at that point, he could have been like, oh yeah, sorry, I didn't know what you want, but I can come, like, I can come with you to the bar. I'm happy to get you a drink, you know. So that was the first kind of like, oh, you're one of those types of people. It kept on getting worse. So I then got back with my drink in hand, and one of the very first things this man said to me is, so are your pictures recent, like the pictures on your profile? And I was like, what? Excuse me? Like, what? Like, I've heard of negging, but I'd never been negged before. Like, I've heard of it as something that happens to other people. I'd never been negged before. And I was like, I know this grown-ass adult man that I'm trying to manage. Actually, to be fair, when I did turn up, he was better looking in person. But still, like, you are negging me, sir. So what is negging, if you're not familiar with it? It's a manipulative tactic where someone makes backhanded compliments or subtle insults to undermine another person's confidence and make them seek the manipulator's approval. A lot of the Andrew Tate red pill men, they neg. They do it as a way to kind of lower, like if they feel like you've got really high self-esteem, they're going to try and lower it. And him asking me if my pictures were recent, sort of implying that I didn't look like my pictures, was like completely bonkers, because first of all, every single picture on my profile is within the last 6 months. A lot of them, to be honest, are in the last 6 weeks, because I be updating them regularly. I take pictures all the time, so I've always got a new set to put on. So that really just made me feel some kind of way, especially because we'd just had a phone call earlier, a video call, where you had literally wowed me. Like, you'd be like, wow. And like, if you weren't that impressed with, you know, what you saw, you really didn't have to be here, sir. You drove over an hour to come here. So if you didn't like what you saw in the video call, why did you come? So I was like, okay. So I stopped talking at that point, because if you're going to insult me with your chest. Don't backhanded insult me, sir. Insult me with your chest. At that point, I'm checked out, because I'm like, after this drink, I'm going. But he wasn't checked out. He was like asking me lots of questions. He was like just trying, you know, when someone is really making an effort to make the conversation happen. I was giving one word answers at this point. He was really trying to make the conversation happen. So I was like, okay, maybe I've misjudged it, maybe I've misread it or something, because clearly he's not acting like he's not interested. So I kind of started, like, the more time went on, I started to like open up a bit more. And then this man asked me, he's like, are you hungry? Have you eaten? Again, I find that weird, because why are you asking me if I'm hungry and if I've eaten if you're not now thinking let's get food? But why are you thinking let's get food if I don't look like my pictures and you're not attractive? Like, I was like, sir, make up your mind. Like, you're confused, like, and you're confusing me. So I was just like, no, before this man, I was like, no, I'm not hungry, before this man then makes me pay for the food that he invited me to eat, because he's trying to Andrew Tate red pill me and humble me or something. Anyway, we keep on talking. I actually quite like him as a person, but there were certain things I was finding out about him that I was just like, it's a no for me. But before I get to those, so we've gotten through our first drinks, and now he like makes a point to let me know that he's now happy to buy me a drink. And like 45 minutes later, he's like, can I buy you a drink? And I'm like, I don't know what kind of point you're trying to prove, that like, you're not gonna buy me a drink to start with, you're gonna test me, you're gonna neg me, and if I pass the test, now you can buy me a drink. But I was like, okay, you are more attractive, there are certain things I like about you. I let him buy me a drink. But then the conversation, like, they went on for about 2 hours, because yeah, I was attracted to him. There were things we had in common, like he used to have a events business in decor, so we talked about that quite a lot. Like, he used to be in the wedding industry, and obviously I'm in the decor business, so we talked about that quite a lot. But like, he was very, very upfront about the fact that he was a 50-50 guy, and he saw absolutely no reason why men and women should not pay the equal amounts for if they're living together 50-50, if they're going out to eat 50-50, like, he was very, and I should have known this, because when I asked this man what his type is or what he's looking for, this man wrote solvent. And I knew then that he meant financially solvent, but you know, I should have known. I think I was curious to see like just how strong like he was in his beliefs, but my guy was very strong. So when he's telling me about how he believes that like women should be paying just as much and whatnot, I asked him, because I saw in his profile before that he wanted kids. So I asked him like, so do you want kids? He was like, yes, he wants kids. I said, okay, so how do you plan to go 50-50 with the mother of your child during pregnancy? How do you plan to do your 50% of carrying the child 4.5 months? Silence. How do you plan to go 50-50 with the morning sickness that she's going to go through? How do you plan to go 50-50 with the stretch marks, the hormones changes, her body changing? How do you plan to go 50-50 with the breastfeeding after the child comes? How do you plan to go 50-50 with the potential postnatal depression? My guy was just sat there like, well, well, you know, obviously if she's pregnant, then, you know, I'll cover the financial burdens. Like, he had nothing to say for how he planned to go 50-50 is all well and good with them until it's time for them to actually tell you how they plan to, you know, compensate you for all the things they expect from a woman for free. Like, how do you plan to compensate? Oh, but then I will be generous. Excuse me, sir, you have already shown me that you are the most ungenerous person. You now want me to believe that when I'm actually trapped with you and I can't get out because now I have your baby, that's when magically all of a sudden you're going to be generous? Absolutely not, absolutely not. 50-50 does not mean equal, because there are certain things that a woman can do that a man cannot do. There are certain things that a woman will bring to the relationship that men just naturally do not bring. A man says they want to be the leader. I'm sure he's looking for a relationship where he can lead, but how can you lead me if I'm footing 50% of the bills? You're not providing, sir. I'm not sure you're protecting either. So where are you trying to lead me to? Like, it's like that woman that said that she was happy doing 50-50 with her man up until she got pregnant, and the agreement was that she wouldn't have any what's it called, the painkillers that they give you, the really strong ones during birth. It's like in America where they don't have free healthcare, and because like the pains from the, you know, labor was so bad and her labor lasted over 30 hours, she had to have the anesthetics, I guess. I don't know what the version is. She had to stay in the hospital longer, get a room. There were just additional costs that they had not planned for, and this man said that she should pay 100%, not even 50-50. She should pay 100% because she had not stuck to the original plan that they had. So you want to tell me that you are an ungenerous man, and it's when you have now finally trapped me that you will suddenly become generous? Sophia Kwa. Needless to say, that man never ever saw me again. We had to part ways. I wish you the best of luck with your 50-50 queen, but that certainly isn't me. He wanted princess treatment. He wanted locations and venues that were more convenient for him. He did not want to buy me a drink until I don't know what test I ended up passing before he decided he could buy me one. I don't know. And he negged me. And I've gone my whole life without being negged, and this man thought, yes, I will be the one to neg her. First of all, negging can only work on people that are not self-assured. I'm way too self-assured to believe that I turned up to this date not looking like a prize. Like, sir, I haven't put a screenshot. Like, this is what I look like on the date. Sir, I look good. You know I look good. Like, why are you negging me, sir? Why are you negging me? It's not gonna work. So I left my guy to his red pill content and the Andrew Tate manosphere. That's not for me. But yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a dating story time. Have you experienced negging? Have you experienced these 50-50 men? Do they suddenly become generous providers once you have their baby? Let me know. Looking good, feeling good, eh?